First of all, I'm going to talk about why I think conflict and disagreement is important. I'm also going to talk about why we get it so badly wrong so much of the time. And then I'm just going to give a few thoughts on how to do it better. When we fail to disagree, we lower our intelligence. Well, human intelligence is inherently collaborative. Interactionist model is really the one that Socrates kind of founded. And Socrates' view was the way I think and the way we think is by getting together in a group and disagreeing with each other, or at least questioning each other. We think in dialogue, we think in groups. Then you will, all that information is, and all those insights and all those reasons and arguments are kind of pulled out onto the table, and you get a much greater diversity of arguments, akin to Darwinian selection, where you're looking for ways to generate lots of different arguments, and then everybody's got a motivation to knock down the other guy's argument. So then you have that process of selection, and eventually only the strongest arguments survive. Again, disagreement, conflict is really kind of important to creativity and disagreement. Creativity is really about combining different thoughts and different ideas and different bits of information that haven't been put together before, and then you create this new thing. And conflict and disagreement, as we talked about, is a really great way of pulling all this kind of information and insight and ideas out of people and making them kind of clash together. So there's something inherently creative about the process of disagreement and conflict itself. And then the final thing I think I want to talk about for why conflict is important is that it does strengthen relationships, which is sort of counterintuitive. When you're in an argument with somebody and you are getting a little bit passionate, a little bit heated, maybe a little bit angry, then the other person is learning very quickly what you really think. And they're learning very quickly about what you really care about. And even in long-term intimate relationships, we can lose track of each other. We can lose track of what our partner really thinks and really cares about. And suddenly in an argument, boom, you're updating your model, your mental model of what your partner is thinking about and caring about. 5 principles of better disagreement. First one is make a connection before you get to the tough part. You should start with the areas of agreement and then move to the areas of disagreement. Divorce mediators get this couple in a room and try and get them to an agreement. They'll say, can we just agree that you're both here because you both care about the children? And then we can get into the really tough stuff. Give face. So one of the reasons, again, people react badly in a disagreement is that they're scared of being humiliated, or they feel that they are being humiliated, or they feel that they're going to look small and feel dominated by the other person. So sometimes you just have to put them at ease and make them feel big, right? That might be, flattery, might be kind of reassurance. You can do it in a million different ways. Check your weirdness. Often we think that we're the normal ones in this debate and the other people are really stupid or weird, and sometimes we are the weird ones. There's an anthropologist who says that a lot of Western science, Western psychology has slightly missed the fact that most people in the world do not have the same worldview and mindset as the Western, educated, industrialized, rich, democratic nations. And, it's important to understand that we are weird. I just see this come up again and again, that the people who just assume that they are the norm and anybody who diverges from them is somehow sort of the odd one. No, often you are the odd one, and so that kind of reframes your vision of the disagreement. Disrupting the script. You'll see this again, you'll see it in your own relationships, you'll see it online all the time, which is when a disagreement starts, you can play out all the moves that are going to happen, like a chess game that you've seen 100 times. Okay, so this person's going to say this, and then this person is going to react by saying this, and then they're probably going to throw this insult. And it just feels like we're going through these motions again and again. When you feel yourself doing that, find a way to just change the script. And you might not always be a thought-through thing. It might be as simple as changing the tone. You might throw in a joke. You might speak quietly if you're speaking loudly, or vice versa. You might introduce an interesting fact that the other person... Just things that are unexpected go a long way to kind of getting us out of these ruts that we tend to fall into. And finally, this one, which is a very, very practical one. When you're in an argument with someone, check that you're understanding them. And that means saying, okay, So, if I've got this right, you are arguing, your point of view is A, B, C, right? This is a really, really useful thing. It sounds like a small thing, but it's a really powerful thing. And I think it's for a couple of reasons. One is that a huge amount of disagreements are not over the thing that either party thinks they're disagreeing about. That we kind of got the other person wrong. We're getting furious at this kind of mirage or this illusion. They don't actually think that. They're not actually saying that. They're saying this. So first of all, doing this actually kind of clarifies your model of what the other person really thinks and really says. Because usually you'll say, if I got you right, you're saying this, 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 and they'll say, no, that's not what I'm saying at all. And you might have to do 2 or 3 rounds of this until you get to what you're actually disagreeing about, which sometimes turns out to be nothing at all. And then the second reason it's so helpful is when you do that, the person understands that you are actually trying to understand them, and therefore you respect them and you want to hear their point of view. You're not here to humiliate them or dominate them. So it will tend to put the discussion on a more equal footing. Thank you very much.